Sup you beautiful people. Hope you've had a fantastic day. Welcome back to another new episode of What If Naruto Was in the Marvel Universe. If you guys enjoyed this what if, comment down below and let me know. And go ahead and check out other what ifs in the channel after watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. Before we get into it though, check out Bilibili Comics. Bilibili Comics is the official trusted place to read hit exclusive series from top creators. Bilibili Comics is a great online webtoons and webcomics reader among all reading apps. Enjoy the best new comics, manhwa, and exclusive webtoons on Bilibili Comics. Download the app now and jump right into it. The link is in the description. Now let's start this video. Stark Industries Factory, Los Angeles. June 30th, 2009, 2000 hours local. Sir, we're down to 15% power. Jarvis reminded. I know. Tony replied, before using the last of his flares to get out of Stain's grip. WTF, man. You're just going to sit up there, he shouted through the comms. Yup. Clean up your own mess. I told you to toss him out of the company and be done with it. Naruto retorted. Tony just grumbled back. Naruto was currently on top of a Roxen building 2 blocks away, watching the fight between the armored suit and the giant man. Having a good day. Considering that my men and I just had to outrun that behemoth, I'll just say that it has been a typical workday. Coulson answered. Naruto picked him up right after he gave his men orders. I could have used a heads up that there was a Goliath in there. I thought you knew. How could SHIELD not know? You guys were tailing the dude for at least a month, and you had no idea what he was doing. What a spy agency. Naruto commented. Coulson didn't even try to counter Naruto's argument. SHIELD was widely regarded as the best spy and paramilitary force to ever grace the surface of the earth. They pride themselves in always being ready to deal with a wide variety of circumstances. To achieve this level of preparedness, they gather as much information on everyone as possible. That was why he was so irked when they were caught unaware by the massive steal. He would make sure that somebody will get fired by that massive oversight. Though to be fair, I didn't expect Stain to build something so huge. His scientists must have encountered problems with making a suit, so they just made him a mech instead. Naruto added while staring at the monstrosity that Stain was wearing, or more like piloting. The Goliath was around 25 feet high and maybe weighing 5 tons. Naruto used his Sharingan to study Stain's armor, and he was not really surprised by what he saw. 2 miniguns for each arm, anti-tank guns, and a couple of missiles. Just basing on what he can see, the armor was powerful AF. It was basically a walking tank. He wouldn't say it straight to Tony's face, but he thought that Stain's armor was fantastic. Tony's 6'2" red and gold armor practically looked like a midget compared to Stain's. Tony couldn't take a solid hit from Stain, since he was unsure if his armor could take the punishment. The one advantage he had over the Goliath was that he was faster and more agile. The bulkiness of the monstrosity prevented it from making any motion without doing some form of wind-up. Tony couldn't do anything but do hit and run attacks to the joints and expose parts of Stain's armor, but it looked like he couldn't keep it up for long, since his arc reactor was running out of juice. He's slowing down. I need to call in some backup. Fury will blow a gasket if he finds out that the Golden Boy died. Coulson said while pulling out his phone. Oh, you mean Furious? Naruto replied with a chuckle, to which Coulson was thoroughly unimpressed. Call for backup, but don't let them help him for now. Care to tell me the reason why? Coulson asked while staring at Naruto incredulously. Cause you still need some Avengers candidate, and this is Tony's hero moment. The first Avenger and the ex-Merchant of Death in the same team. Highly volatile, but it could work. Naruto explained. He could die. Coulson retorted. He won't, but Tony doesn't need to know that. Naruto argued. Coulson released a sigh and relayed Naruto's request to the backup team. The duo could see a team working their way towards the SI factory, while making sure to stay away from the fighting knights. It looks like the backup wouldn't have any use for now, since Tony decided to do something new, boosting straight up towards the stratosphere. Stain didn't disappoint, though, since panels around the Goliath's leg opened up, and this opened revealing powerful rockets that propelled the massive construct upward. The rockets left behind a crater, showing evidence of just how powerful they were. Damn, look at them go. Naruto stated, genuinely impressed with what was happening. Wait here a second. I need to pick up Pepper. I got a feeling that they're going to kick it up a notch if Tony's plan fails. He explained before disappearing. Coulson ignored Naruto's sudden disappearance since he had already seen it so many times before. He had to agree with Naruto's statement. Desperation can make a man do a whole lot of stupid, and Stain would most likely be desperate after whatever Tony is planning. After a few seconds, Naruto reappeared on the roof with a disoriented Pepper. Ugh. I have to agree with Tony. I'm not too fond of your teleportation thingy, Pepper said while trying to hold back her lunch. It only took a few moments before the Redeed's temper flared up. What are you doing here with Phil just watching Tony fight that thing? Coulson subtly moved back to get away from the Redeed's target. He had a lot of experience of dealing with angry deeds since he had a close working relationship with Nat. But it looked like Naruto was not afraid of Pepper, or he just didn't have any sense of self-preservation. First of all, it's Hiraishin and not teleportation thingy. Naruto retorted half-jokingly before getting a lot more serious. And as for us not doing anything, it's because of the fact that it is not our fight. He needs to do it himself. It's better for him to work it out on his own. Especially in a safe, controlled environment like this. Safe and controlled environment. You call this safe and controlled? Pepper retorted while pointing to the rising Tony and Stain. Oh yeah, definitely. Shield is here to control the environment while I'm here to make sure that he won't die. See, safe and controlled environment. Naruto answered calmly, but Pepper was still pissed off and unconvinced. Just watch. He's not going to die today, he added. Where's Morgan, by the way? Pepper took a series of deep breaths until she calmed down enough. She's with Happy in the safe house. Pepper replied. What happened anyway? I haven't checked on Tony for a week, and the next thing I know, Tony got his chest piece removed and was on the verge of dying. Good thing he had a Hiraishin tattoo on him. Naruto asked. Coulson listened in on the conversation trying to get something that he could report. Jarvis reported a separate archive that he couldn't access an Obi computer. Tony couldn't precisely walk towards Stain's office without getting mobbed on the way there. Pepper started. I got definitive proof of everything that Obi has done. Backdoor selling, skewed contracts, and the 10 rings, renegotiating their deal with him. She said with a sneer. I saw Phil on my way out and brought him to deal with Obi's monstrosity before it got started. We just got there too late. And none of you tried to call me. Naruto replied sarcastically before they heard something huge dropping near the SI factory. Don't worry. That's just Stain. I thought that was going to take him out. Tony was on the rooftop, catching his breath. He was down to 6% power. Just enough to keep the suit from turning into a statue. He walked over towards where Obi dropped. As expected, the ceiling couldn't take the force of the behemoth dropping from 35,000 feet. Stain just punched 3 floors into the basement. He peeked through the hole and saw something alarming. Stain's massive suit was nowhere to be found, and the breaking sound under him was not a good sign. A massive metal hand broke through under him and wrapped around his body, effectively trapping him. Tony's suit was groaning due to the force of the grip. Stain worked his way up the rooftop. The Goliath had dents, scratches, and missing parts. Most notably, the missing helmet. Tony could see Obi's bruised and bleeding face. That wasn't very nice, Tony. Obi wheezed out, referring to letting him drop from high up. He only managed to survive by forcibly opening up the air brakes, slowing him just enough not to die. Well, leaving me to die on my own wasn't nice either. Tony retorted with his usual attitude while thinking of how to get out of the situation. He looked around and saw the only viable plan given the circumstances. He disabled the external speakers. Jarvis, overload the arc reactor and push the discharge to the rooftop, he ordered. Jarvis could take over any system connected to the central server ever since he had been uploaded into the Stark Industries system. Are you sure, sir? It might kill you, sir. It would also cause massive damage to the factory and take it out of operation for at least 3 months. Jarvis asked for confirmation. Just do it. I'll die now if I don't do anything, Tony retorted. He could already hear the external plating bend. Alright, sir. 15 seconds from discharge. Jarvis informed Tony while placing a countdown timer at the heads-up display. Tony reoriented his hands so that the repulsors on his palm are aimed towards Obi's face or somewhere close to it. He fired the repulsors, which missed Obi's head, but just enough to startle him and get out of his grip. Tony created some distance and fired his Unai beam straight towards Obi's face. This caused Obi to stumble backward, right into the path of the arc reactor. 5 4 3 2 1. Tony counted down. When the countdown reached 0, a beam of blue light fired up into the sky, enveloping Stain in a wave of energy. From a distance, Naruto could see everything that was happening to Stain. Weirdly enough, his armor was the first one to go. His armor slowly melted before disintegrating. The same thing happened with Stain himself. The flesh started melting, but it quickly charred before disintegrating. Well, he's dead, Naruto informed Pepper and Coulson nonchalantly. We should go back down. Pepper felt so much lighter. She knew it was terrible to be thankful that Obi was finally dead, but it was either him or Tony, and she would always choose Tony to live. Naruto grabbed hold of Pepper and Coulson before using Hiraishin. They reappeared just in front of Tony, who was lying flat on his back with his faceplate open. Pepper immediately ran towards Tony and knelt beside him, checking for any injuries visible on his face. She started stroking his cheek, but he still didn't open his eyes. She raised Tony's head and laid him on her lap. How much power you got left? Naruto asked. 0.5%. I already disconnected my suit, so I'll just be lying here until it recharges back to 5%. Tony replied without looking at anyone. He was too tired to do anything else. Alright. How long is that anyway? Naruto asked again. Maybe 20 minutes, at least, Tony replied. Damn. Okay. Coulson and I are going to give you two some privacy while we clean up some of this, Naruto stated before walking towards the rooftop access with Coulson behind him. How are you going to sweep this all under the rug? But the mess is huge, we don't sweep this under the rug. We just redirect the public's attention to something else while making a bigger mess to cover up this one. Coulson answered, already thinking about which plan would work the best for the current situation. It looked like they would need to use their celebrity contacts to create some sort of scandal for them to get by. I'll call for a cleanup crew. We need to clear some debris and tag some tech to make sure no one gets a hold of it. You do that. I'm on guard duty, Naruto said before disappearing, leaving Coulson on the staircase alone. Stark Industries office, Los Angeles. July 1st, 2009, 10 o'clock local. Naruto was currently walking towards the side room, wearing his bodyguard disguise. That was where Tony, Pepper, and Morgan were staying while waiting for the start of the press conference. He had no idea what plan Coulson decided to use, but he was sure that it would go off the rails. He heard talking as he got close to the door. Just follow the script I gave you, and we'll take care of the rest, Naruto heard Coulson say before the door suddenly opened. Mr. Omer. Coulson greeted Naruto using his pseudonym before walking away. Can't even stay around and chat a bit, huh? Naruto mused to himself before walking inside the room and closing the door. What's up? He greeted the family. Tony was reading some cue cards that were probably given to him by Coulson, while Pepper was fixing up Tony's suit. Morgan quickly jumped off the couch and ran towards Naruto. He quickly picked her up and carried her. You're getting big, princess, he said to Morgan. Can you believe it? They're calling me Iron Man. The suit is not even made of iron. It's a titanium gold alloy composite with carbon lamination, Tony complained before quickly changing his mind. You know what? I kind of like it. It's catchy. You should have heard what they're calling Stain Ironmonger or Iron Goliath, Naruto countered. Why not Iron Giant? Pepper interjected. Cause there's already a movie about Iron Giant, and he's a good guy, Naruto answered. Pepper looked at her phone on the table when it lit up. Everything's ready. We should go, Pepper told Tony. Alright. Just let me take this, Tony replied. He took a bottle of soda before leaving. Naruto followed the couple towards the main hall. He was going to stay some ways back while still carrying Morgan, just to prevent her from running around and getting mobbed. 10 minutes later. Do it, come on, do it, Naruto whispered repeatedly. Don't do it, Coulson countered repeatedly. The pair were standing at the back of the room, looking over the press conference. One might ask what they were talking about, and there was one simple answer, Tony hesitating on reading the cue cards that Coulson gave him. I'm Iron Man, Tony stated, causing all the reporters to go wild. Naruto laughed hard, since he was right that something like this would happen. Why can't anything be easy? Coulson mused. Stark Mansion, Malibu, Los Angeles. July 1st, 2009, 2300 hours local. Tony was with Pepper on the bed, who was already asleep. They had a really long day, and he had no one to blame it on but himself. The press were like piranhas, doing anything for a nibble of a story. He was about to fall asleep when Jarvis spoke up. Sir, there's someone in the living room, Jarvis informed Tony. Tony quickly got up and reached for a 13-round taser gun. He thought about calling Naruto, but he could just call him if he can't handle it. Does he look hostile? Tony asked while loading up the taser gun. It doesn't look like it, sir, Jarvis replied. Tony walked out of the room and slowly worked his way towards the living room. When he reached the living room, he saw a silhouette of a man facing the panoramic windows. He hid the gun behind him and walked towards the man, but made sure to keep his distance. I am Iron Man, the man started. You think you're the only superhero. Mr. Stark, you just became part of a bigger universe, but you just don't know it yet, he added. As if dealing with gamma radiation-saturated scientists, enhanced individuals, and aliens are not enough. Now I have to deal with a spoiled billionaire who doesn't work well with others, and likes to keep all his toys to himself. Who the hell are you? Tony asked a little threateningly. The man walked into the light with a confident stride, revealing a bald African-American man with an eye patch on his left eye, and wearing an all-black tactical suit covered by a black trench coat. Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury introduced himself with a subtle smirk. I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. Set an appointment. I'll be available in 3 months, Tony retorted sarcastically. The Avengers Initiative is something I thought up. Gathering the best the world has to offer and set them up to deal with things the world is not prepared to deal with. Fury ignored Tony's quip. The world's first and last line of defense. Who else is on this team of yours? No one yet, but I've got some prospects, Fury replied. I'm here because a common acquaintance of ours recommended you. Although I still would have scouted you without the recommendation. It's Naruto, isn't it? Tony asked, 99% sure of the answer. Him and Coulson, Fury answered while walking towards the door. There's a file packet on the dining room table. Take a look at it. I'll contact you sometime in the future, he said before walking out of the mansion. Tony walked towards the dining room and saw a thin file folder on the table. He picked it up and scanned through it. There was just one thing he realized as he was reading through it. What the hell did I get myself into? Stark Mansion, Malibu, Los Angeles. July 2nd, 2009. 9 o'clock, local. So, Fury finally showed himself, huh? Naruto said when he saw the folder Tony was reading. Tony turned around and went towards the dining room entrance. Damn, did you sleep? Tony had dark circles under his eyes. To answer your question, the creepy pirate did indeed come, and I couldn't sleep after I started reading this. Tony replied as his usual sarcastic self. I had Jarvis search for everything he could find about what's in here. So, what did he find? Naruto asked, genuinely curious about what Jarvis could have found considering S.H.I.E.L.D's strict information control. Something and nothing at the same time. Tony picked up his phone on the table and scrolled through it. I got a lot of news articles, journals, papers, social media, conspiracy theories, yada yada, but the thing is, I got nothing substantial on anyone in this, except for the banner guy. What makes him so different? I already met him at some conventions. Brilliant guy, a little weird. Maybe that's just what happens if you collect 7 doctorates. Tony answered absent-mindedly before he realized he was moving away from the topic. Anyway, I got most of his papers with electromagnetic waves, particularly high-energy radiation. I have to say the guy really is a genius, he added. I found a lot of clips of him wrecking the military. I guess that's what they wanted the sonic cannon for. You're missing 2 guys in here. Naruto removed the cover page of each Avenger candidate and lined them up on the table. Interestingly enough, Nat's and Clint's photos used generic silhouettes and were heavily redacted. Banner's cover page also had some partial redaction. We're not going to discuss the 2 silhouettes since their files are redacted for a reason. All I can say is that they are agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the cream of the crop, he explained. Banner's files are partially redacted because of his work with the military. Your files are not redacted for obvious reasons. He moved the cover photos to the side and retrieved 2 sheets of paper from behind him. This is my file. I have no idea why it's not there. Maybe they thought you know me enough, but anyway, here it is if you would like to read it. Partially redacted, of course. Now, this is the Cap's file. I guess Fury still wants him to be kept secret since they still haven't woken him up. Tony took both sheets of paper and looked over it, starting with Cap's file. There were still some redacted areas on it, but probably less than before. The redacted areas were mainly focused on Project Rebirth. What surprised him, though, was the number of missions listed. He's no military man, but he was sure that doing over 100 special ops missions in the span of 2 years was impressive enough, but add the fact that there were no failures. The Boy Scout was just showing off. He moved his focus to the other sheet of paper, and he noticed that there were more redacted areas compared to the captain's, but not enough to make it annoying like the agents' profiles. He skimmed over it and noted that he already knew most of what's inside. The only detail added that piqued his curiosity was the aliases and works Naruto has done. Nine Tails and the Fox, codenames given to the most prolific and effective information broker mercenary out there. There were only estimated jobs done since most of it was done in secret, and the number alone was staggering. Approximated 5,000 information gathering jobs and 800 mercenary jobs. What the fuck, man? How the hell did you do 5,800 jobs? Tony exclaimed. Naruto did a single hand sign before a clone of himself appeared beside him. Shadow clones. I got thousands of these guys around the world, though not all of them are active. Naruto replied. Only a few hundred of his clones were not hinged as inanimate objects, while merely a few dozen are not disguised. Cheating alien bastard, Tony mumbled before going back to the folder and cross-referencing everything that he could find. Naruto decided to just stay silent and fix some breakfast, since he could sense Pepper preparing herself for the day. He turned on the coffee machine and cooked some eggs and bacon. He finished cooking just in time since Pepper walked down the stairs as he transferred the food to the plates. Wow, Naruto is cooking this morning. Pepper excitedly. She considered Naruto's cooking as one of the best out there. Naruto placed the food and coffee in front of Tony and Pepper, before setting one for himself. Eat up. You two got a lot to do today, but Tony will probably stay behind studying those little ass folders. Naruto replied. Pepper took a bite and released a small moan. She still had no idea how Naruto could make eggs and bacon taste so good. She looked towards Tony and noticed that his sole focus was on the folder in front of him. How long has he been awake? Pepper asked. Probably the whole night. A one-eyed pirate came to visit last night and gave Tony that folder. Naruto answered, intentionally leaving out that the pirate was trying to recruit Tony into his super-secret superhero boy band. What? Nick Fury, the head honcho of S.H.I.E.L.D., came to visit. You should ask him about it, not me. He's your fiancé. Pepper felt that Naruto was hiding something, but she decided to ignore it for now. She stood up and walked behind Tony and tapped his shoulder. Tony was obviously startled, but quickly recovered when he saw who it was. Hi Peps. How long have you been there? Tony asked. Long enough. Pepper replied with a small huff. What are you reading there? That does not look like our typical company report. Oh, this. Some one-eyed black guy gave this to me. Said something about the Avengers Initiative. These are the candidates he wanted. Tony answered truthfully, not even bothering to lie. By the way, we're going to hire a bodyguard just for you. Some things out there are just crazy. Pepper reached for the folder in Tony's hand and started to skim through it. To say she was shocked was an understatement. Super spies are somewhat believable. World War II, super soldiers. She already knew about that thanks to Naruto. Advanced exosuit armor. Her fiancé was the one who made it. What really got to her was a scientist that could transform into a green rage monster and the guy inside their house right now. One of the best information brokers mercenaries around. She knew Naruto was some kind of muscle for hire, but how good was the guy to earn him a do not engage status? They wanted Tony to join this. Pepper asked Naruto. Yup. The Avengers, the first and last defense of humanity against any enemy that they are not prepared to face. Naruto replied. Fury wants to build a team that can fight guys like me. He said, causing incredulous looks to form on Tony's and Pepper's face. Well, not guys like me, that's just a massacre waiting to happen, but aliens and extra-dimensional entities. Tony's eyes widened and latched onto one detail. Aliens are real. Not like you but like Eastern time and Martian kind of thing. Tony inquired. Hey. I'm an alien. Naruto retorted, but Tony just raised his eyebrow. I'm not alien-like, but I can still be an alien. Naruto released a sigh. There were aliens. We don't get too much alien traffic since Earth is a backroad planet, at least that's what Fury has in his files. However, there are still a good number of aliens currently with us. If we are a backwater planet, is there really a threat from out there? You would be surprised. As far as records go, the most recent incident that almost wiped out humanity happened in 1995. According to Fury's hidden files, Kree accusers had already launched a wave of orbital bombardment, kinetic thermobaric bombs. I have no idea what the hell an accusers is, but Kree is an alien race that has blue skin. Naruto recounted, ignoring the Stark's aghast expression. Good thing Fury met a human alien chick that took care of the problem. Human alien? Don't you mean, half alien? Pepper interjected. Nah, like human alien. She's a human that was taken by aliens and brainwashed. Don't worry, she's fine now. Naruto replied. Pepper stared at Naruto before snapping out of her stupor. I missed the time when the only problem I had was fixing up the company reports. Pepper stated. I can't believe that ignorance really is bliss. Tony was just staring out into nothingness, his mind running 1,000 miles a second. Ever since he started inventing, he was always a problem solver. Engine not putting out enough power. Just slap a turbo on it. Missile targeting system acting up. Invent a hybrid targeting system to fix it. The problem he was trying to solve now was the proverbial axe hovering over their neck, aliens with a fleet designed to decimate the population on the planet. He really doesn't like the feeling of helplessness. Tony, you okay there? Naruto called out, causing Tony to shake his head. You have to tell me that you have got vital information on those aliens. Tony said seriously, expecting that Naruto would turn into his usual how the fuck did he know about that self. Sorry to disappoint you, man, but I don't have much info on anything out there, only what public and private organizations have like Fury's private files. Naruto answered a little sheepishly. And from what I can tell, the aliens on our planet are outcasts and refugees. The largest alien community has 100 individuals of shapeshifters called Skrulls. They're left over from the main refugee group that left in 1995, so they don't have many files and alien tech with them. Tony unconsciously released a groan. How about the Kree? What does Fury have on them? Tony asked with a hint of desperation. The Kree Empire is a militaristic race that has an AI as its leader. They're the ones that push the Skrulls to the brink of extinction. Naruto said, trying to recount what Fury has in his files. Based on the world's average technological level, we are maybe 50 years behind them. Their blood can also be used by humans to accelerate healing and possibly revive the dead. Who the hell tested that? Pepper interrupted. An independent research group Fury established. They acquired a half-dead body of a Kree and started testing shit with it. Tony stood up and retrieved the Avengers folder from Pepper's hands before walking out of the room, presumably towards his workshop. Naruto and Pepper couldn't do anything but stare at Tony's retreating back. So, is he going to eat that or what? Naruto asked, pointing to the untouched food. New York City, New York. July 12, 2009, 10 o'clock local. Naruto and Peggy were currently in an office space he rented overlooking the SHIELD safehouse. In front of them was a collection of screens showing the interior of the safehouse. The largest screen was showing a small room, an imitation hospital room from the 1940s. At its side is a screen showing the large room where the mock hospital room was placed. Fury basically ignored Naruto's advice. It was only a day ago when Fury gave Coulson the all-clear to wean Captain Rogers from the anesthesia. According to the medical requisition forms, they were using 10 times the recommended amount, just to keep the captain knocked out. This only reinforced the physiological changes the super soldier serum had on the captain. SHIELD and what he assumed were Hydra agents, as well as some agents from private companies, have all been trying to get biological samples from the first successful super soldier to create their own version. The keyword was trying. Naruto had been replacing the blood and hair samples with ones from a golden retriever, the perfect animal substitute for the captain if there ever was one. Not that he was going to say it anytime soon. How can he be so stupid? I taught him better than that. Peggy complained with a groan. To be fair, you taught him to think like a spy. His default is to keep secrets and lie. Nobody can just go against their nature at the drop of a hat. Naruto replied. This caused Peggy to glare at Naruto. Don't start with me today. I'm not in the mood. Peggy countered before looking back at Steve's sleeping form. Naruto looked at the other feeds, focusing on one monitor in particular. He could see Coulson briefing a red-haired agent named Grace Van Pelt. He was looking into everything else in the base. As far as he could tell, the only other thing noteworthy in the base was a garage filled with 2 security team squads. He was still focusing on monitoring the safe house when somebody knocked on the door. Peggy quickly drew her gun and aimed it at the door, thinking that some undesirables figured out their position. However, she noticed that Naruto remained calm and just continued checking the feeds. Come in, Naruto shouted, which partially surprised Peggy. The door slowly opened, revealing Jessica carrying a coffee tray and a paper bag from the coffee shop around the corner. Hey, I brought coffee, Jessica greeted before closing the door. She sauntered towards Naruto and gave him a quick peck before dropping the food and coffee on the table. So, what are we doing here? Checking out how SHIELD is going to fuck up waking up Captain America, Naruto answered. What time is your class? My 3 p.m. class cancelled, so I'm free for the whole day. Jessica walked towards the screen where the captain was still sleeping. Wow, he looks damn hot for a guy sleeping for over 60 years. Naruto immediately turned his head towards Jessica with mock indignation. Hey, I'm hot, Naruto retorted, causing Jessica to chuckle. I'm not saying you're not hot. I'm saying that I can understand one of the reasons why Aunt Peggy here can't get over the guy. Jessica sent an exaggerated wink towards Peggy, causing her to blush. So, anyone care to tell me what they're going to do? Naruto nodded and turned around towards the monitors. He pointed towards the screen where Agent Van Pelt was talking with Coulson. See that redeed there? Jessica nodded. She's going to dress as a 1940s nurse when Captain Rogers wakes up. They're going to try to convince him that he has just been retrieved from the ice a week or so after the crash. How is that going to work? They can't just lock him up in that room forever, Jessica commented, perfectly encapsulating one of the problems in Fury's plan. You're going to graduate college with honors. No doubt about it, Naruto said seriously. Jessica smiled when she heard Naruto's comments. She walked in front of Naruto and sat on his lap before looping her arms around Naruto's neck and kissed him. Peggy ignored the couple and just focused on the feed. A few minutes later, she noticed that Steve Rogers was finally waking up, evident by the shake of his head. She couldn't help but flash a smile when she finally saw Steve's clear blue eyes. Naruto and Jessica noticed Peggy's emotional moment and quieted down, giving her a moment to enjoy the moment. SHIELD Safe House, New York. July 12, 2009, 11 o'clock local. Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. The first Avenger. The first superhero. Widely regarded as the human representation of freedom. One of the most influential factors that pushed the World War II effort in favor of the Allies by leading the Howling Commandos against the Johann Schmidt Red Skull and Hydra. Steve Grant Rogers was born on July 4, 1918, to Sarah and Joseph Rogers. His father was killed in action during World War I. He had always been a small and sickly kid, causing him to form only one significant friendship in the form of one James Buchanan Barnes. His mother died from tuberculosis during his last year of high school. When Steve and Bucky heard that the US finally joined World War II, they immediately tried to enlist, but Steve was always denied due to the many health problems. Bucky, on the other hand, was immediately accepted and sent to basic. Steve Rogers never gave up, though. He tried to enlist at different recruitment centers around New York City. His fate changed during the 1943 Stark Expo. Steve was pulled by Bucky into a double date, but he slipped away to try and enlist once again. Coincidentally, Dr. Abraham Erskine, a defector from Germany, took notice of Steve's morals and fast-tracked Steve's record after a short interview. Steve was sent to Camp Lehigh for assessment and training. He was chosen by Dr. Erskine for Project Rebirth, a top-secret super soldier program by the US military, and the Strategic Scientific Reserve or SSR, the predecessor of SHIELD. Project Rebirth was a success, causing Steve Rogers to pack muscle and gain almost a foot of height. However, Dr. Erskine was killed by an undercover agent, effectively killing Project Rebirth. Steve Rogers, or now known as Captain America, was used as a mascot and propaganda machine, boosting US military recruitment. His fate changed yet again when he went on an undercover mission to rescue Allied soldiers, particularly the 107th Infantry Regiment, which Bucky was a part of, from a Nazi Hydra concentration camp. This mission alone had proven his worth as a soldier and leader. Captain America led multiple raids against multiple Hydra bases with his specialized unit, the Howling Commandos. Along the way, Howard Stark gifted Captain Rogers with a circular shield made from vibranium, one of the strongest metals known to man. Every win he accomplished over Hydra tilted the war in favor of the Allies, but everything must come to an end. The first blow came with the death of Bucky Barnes during the mission to apprehend Dr. Arnim Zola. The next blow, however, came with the defeat of the Red Skull. As a last-ditch effort to deal considerable damage to the US, the Red Skull harnessed the Tesseract's energy to create bombs that would decimate the US cities. The Red Skull was able to take off with one of the bombers, forcing Captain Rogers to crash the plane at the Arctic Circle. Everyone thought that the captain perished that day, but multiple search and retrieval missions were done to find the captain's body. Howard Stark successfully found the Tesseract, but not the captain. Captain America inspired the US to build S.H.I.E.L.D. Steve Rogers never expected that he would be able to wake up alive. He fully expected to wake up in the afterlife, heaven or hell, wherever he was destined to go. He pushed himself up on the bed and observed his surroundings. There was something disconcerting with everything he was sensing. He focused his attention on the live baseball game on the radio. It didn't take long before a nurse secretary checked up on him. Morning. The nurse greeted smoothly before checking her watch. Or should I say afternoon. Where am I? Steve asked. You're in a recovery room in New York. The nurse answered. Steve listened in on the surroundings and confirmed that the statement was not quite right. One of the side effects of the super soldier serum was the acquisition of an eidetic memory. Where am I, really? Steve asked again slowly. I don't understand. The nurse replied, getting a little nervous. The game, it's from May 1941. I know because I was there. Steve stated with absolute certainty. Van Pelt knew that the plan had failed, so she immediately pushed the panic button. He stood up from the bed and walked towards Van Pelt. So, I'm going to ask again, where am I? Captain Rogers. The nurse said, trying to calm down the situation. Who are you? Steve shouted, but 4 armed men in black combat suits entered the room. New York City, New York. July 12, 2009, 11:30 local. Well, that was a dud as expected. Naruto said while looking out the window. He was looking at Captain Rogers running barefoot down the street towards Times Square. He then turned towards Peggy. What do you want to do now? Peggy took a deep breath to calm down her mind. All she wanted to do was run out the door to meet Steve face to face again, but she knew it was not exactly viable right now. She needed to remain hidden for as long as possible to keep an advantage over Hydra. We're going to wait for Fury to bring him to the old gym before meeting him, Peggy stated. For now, we should keep watch of the situation. New York City, New York. July 12, 2009, 11:33 local. Are you going to be okay? The guy with the eye patch said. Yeah. Steve answered while looking around at his surroundings. I had a date, he added. The gravity of the situation finally hit the first Avenger. He couldn't believe that some part of him would rather die in the ice than be found now. Everything that he was seeing was new and familiar at the same time. The crowd, the buildings, the cars. Everything was just so disconcerting. Only his training and experience kept him from freaking out. We should get in the car. I can't answer the questions you obviously have while we're still out in the open, the man advised. Some people would usually just follow that suggestion, but the captain was not just anyone. He would not just trust anyone even if he was technically in the States. He turned around and faced the man. You don't expect me to just follow you anywhere, do you? Steve stated while looking at the man suspiciously. God, I hope not. The man replied with a chuckle. But you should know that you have no other option for now. I can say that I'm part of a US-based agency. The man added while flashing his badge. Steve ran multiple scenarios in his mind to see what was the best course of action, and he decided that there really was only one viable thing he could do right now. Of course, he could fight his way out right now, but he would indeed get recaptured due to his lack of intel. If he gets into the car now, he could still fight his way out if things were to go south. He nodded towards the man to show that he would follow for now. The man walked towards the black car behind him and opened the car's back door. Steve warily walked towards the car. The man got in on the other side of the vehicle after he closed the door. He confirmed that the agents were trained and coordinated, since the cars quickly lined up into a convoy as they started moving. I'm Nick Fury, the director for the Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement, and Logistics Division or S.H.I.E.L.D., your namesake. The man now named Fury introduced himself. Steve couldn't help but focus on the name of the agency Fury said he was a part of, but he pushed the thoughts about it away for now. We are a US-based international agency focused on dealing with the weird aspect of the world, Fury explained. The car drove into the same building that he had just escaped from. For now, we're going to a series of medical tests on you to make sure everything is a-okay. Steve just listened to Fury talk. He was still not sure if he was safe for now, but at least he was confident that they would not suddenly aim their guns at him. Nevertheless, he was still keeping track of everything he could use as a weapon. The cars parked near the door and Fury got out of the vehicle. Steve copied what Fury did and followed the director. He noticed that the agents kept some distance from him and were making sure that he was not getting crowded. As he was nearing what he guessed was the medical center, evident by the white room with multiple machines, he decided to ask a question that's been plaguing his mind since the moment he woke up. "Can you answer a question for me?" Steve said. "Sure, as long as it's not classified," Fury replied. "You don't exactly have your clearance back." Steve agreed to Fury's statement, but what he was curious about shouldn't be classified. "Do you know what happened to Agent Margaret Elizabeth Carter?" Steve asked, making sure to use her full name. Fury fully expected this question to come. Director Carter's and the captain's tragic romance story was well known by everyone. Hell, some production companies even tried to make a movie out of it. The production plans only stopped due to Director Carter's sensitive career history. Fury had already planned on how to approach the topic. Former Director Carter was one of the founding members of S.H.I.E.L.D. She obviously became the previous director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury stated, hoping that he could soften the blow. She retired almost 8 years ago. 4 years ago, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Steve felt a sense of dread washing over him. She died on November 20, 2007, at a Royal Air Force base in Alconbury, UK. Steve stopped in the middle of the hallway when he heard what Fury had said. Steve continued to stand in the middle of the hallway, trying to absorb what he had heard. New York City, New York. July 13, 2009, 5 o'clock local. "This is a restored 1950s boxing gym. We bought this place 2 days after we found you," Fury stated while walking around the old school gym. "One of my guys had this place restored and placed a fully functioning apartment on the top floor," he added. Fury had to give it to Coulson. "The gym was looking good. There are 3 agents next door who are going to monitor you for at least 3 months." Steve waved off what Fury said. He was too busy looking over the place. He noticed that there were those mini cameras mounted in the corners of the ceiling. S.H.I.E.L.D. really was deadest on keeping an eye on him. "I'm going to leave you to it," Fury said before walking towards the exit when Steve didn't give him a reply. "Just press on the big red button in each room if or when you need anything. Your briefing schedule is on the table in the dining room upstairs." Fury had arranged a series of meetings with some agents to teach and guide Captain Rogers through modern society. They would focus on everything that could help Captain Rogers adapt faster, like modern technology, finance, modern history, current affairs, and social norms. Modern warfare, tactics, and training reconditioning would happen after the previous plan. Fury's goal was for the captain to be mission ready in 6 months. Maybe a year at the most. Fury subtly checked that the agents he had assigned to this mission were not undercover Hydra agents. However, he could never be 100% certain unless he did something drastic like strapping them to his lie detector or contacting Naruto, and God knows that he doesn't have to deal with that right now. "Fury, before you go," Steve called out as Fury was walking towards the door. "Where's my shield?" he asked. If there was one thing you could use to symbolize Captain America, it was the red, white, and blue vibranium shield. It had been with him ever since he officially started to do missions. He routinely used it both offensively and defensively. Of course, he had formed an emotional attachment to the shield. "Well, about that," Fury started sheepishly. "We did find your shield, but one of my individual contractors borrowed it while you were still in a coma." Steve raised his eyebrow. He liked to think that he could read people well enough, and according to his reading, Fury would not trust people not in his own organization, especially with something as important as a shield made from a rare metal. He was supposed to bring it back a week after he borrowed it. "I'm going to try to make contact with him so he can bring it back." Steve just nodded, dropped his bag beside the staircase, and placed his leather jacket on top. He chose clothes from S.H.I.E.L.D.'s wide selection. He had chosen 5 casual clothes, 3 home clothes, a brown leather jacket, and a tactical suit just in case. Fury left the building when he saw Captain Rogers walking towards the punching bag. Understandably, he would like to release some stress after the day that he has had. Hell, from Rogers' perspective, everything from fighting Red Skull to waking up in the 21st century happened within a week. Steve heard the automatic door lock engaging. He knew that there were more than 3 agents monitoring him. From his observation, at least half of the people in the neighborhood were agents. However, he just didn't have the energy to do something about it. Maybe in the future, he might care about it, but not now, not after the week that he has had. He settled into his standard boxing stance and started pounding the punching bag, releasing all of his frustration into the bag. It didn't take long for the punching bag to start swinging wildly. He stopped when he noticed that the bag was about to rip. Steve grabbed hold of the bag to steady it and started taking some deep calming breaths. He didn't even feel winded with that short exercise due to the super soldier serum. "You need someone to steady that for you?" Steve suddenly heard someone ask. Steve quickly turned towards the direction of the voice and went into his fighting stance. He saw a man sitting on the ropes of the boxing ring closest to him. The blonde man was wearing a burnt orange shirt with blue jeans. However, the most noticeable thing about the man was the animal-like whiskers on his cheeks. Who are you? Steve asked threateningly. The gym itself was supposed to be a secure location, so how did someone sneak inside? I have a bone to pick with Fury. I'm not one of his independent contractors. I just happen to have a closer working relationship with him than other agencies. The man said before he jumped off the rope. Steve went on high alert as the man walked towards him. He surmised that he was the one that had borrowed his shield. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Information broker, mercenary, and overall badass. The man introduced himself. What are you doing here? Steve asked while still not dropping his fighting stance. I'm here to return this to you, Naruto said as he retrieved something from behind him. Of course, Steve was shocked when Naruto pulled out his shield, seemingly out of nowhere, and tossed it towards him. He caught the shield and quickly inspected it before placing it on his arm. I'm also here to talk to you about something. I guarantee that you will like to hear what I'm going to say, Naruto stated confidently. Just a warning, somebody's listening in on our conversation. Shield, Steve said quietly. Hell, nah, Naruto countered. I already hacked their feed. They have no idea that I'm even here, he added with a chuckle. The person listening in now has a more personal stake in this conversation. Steve had no idea what hacking meant, but he assumed that it was something impressive. He wouldn't admit it, but he was interested in what this Naruto wanted to talk about. Although, he was still not dropping his guard. Naruto walked towards the bench press and sat on it. He took out a hot cup of ramen from who knows where and started eating. Steve looked at Naruto incredulously, not expecting this turn of events. You want some? Naruto offered, to which Steve shook his head no. Alright, more for me. He continued before taking a sip of the soup. Before we start, I need you to remember that we are living in some weird times. You understand? Sure. Steve quickly replied, wanting to move forward with the conversation. First of all, you should be wary of everyone around you. Not everyone who acts as your friend is actually your friend. Naruto started. I can't tell you what I'm talking about until you're used to the 21st century, but I can tell you some names you can trust in S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury, Maria Hill, Natasha Romanoff, Clint Barton, Phil Coulson, and Sharon Carter. It's your choice if you're going to believe me. One name quickly got Steve's attention. Sharon Carter? Steve asked. Got that, didn't you? Naruto said with a grin. Grandniece of Peggy Carter herself. Tenacious girl, that one. Followed her in Aunt's footsteps even against her mother's wishes. Steve couldn't help but smile when he heard Naruto's description of Sharon Carter. It looked like Peggy still lived one way or another. Thinking about Peggy brought down his mood, though. Peggy Carter never married. Some people thought that she was focused on her job, but most people agreed that she just couldn't move on from her first romance. Naruto stated. Apparently, a guy that didn't even show up on a date. Steve had no idea why Naruto was telling him this, but he winced when he heard about the missed dance. If he was the kind of person who cursed, he would be spouting a storm towards the Red Skull. Her love story was almost made into a movie. Why are you telling me this? Cause, Peggy Carter is still alive, Naruto said with a mischievous grin. Steve quickly faced Naruto with wide eyes. Can you say that again? Steve asked pleadingly. It would be one of the cruelest jokes ever made if it was not true. Got your attention now, right? Naruto replied, still with his grin. There are some extenuating circumstances that can't be talked about right now, but the bottom line is that Peggy is still alive. You want to meet her? Steve was shouting at himself to say yes, but it was like he couldn't find his voice. It was like everything that had been happening to him in the past 2 days had finally caught up with him. The psychological and emotional strain had rendered him speechless at the most crucial moment. Well, it looks like you don't want to. See you around, I guess. Naruto said teasingly, but Steve couldn't detect the sarcasm causing him to panic. Naruto was starting to leave when Steve saw a boxing glove hit the back of Naruto's head. Steve followed the path where the glove had come from, and saw an image straight from a dream. Peggy Carter had been listening in on Naruto and Steve's conversation from the apartment upstairs. She and Naruto had sneaked inside the building after the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents did a sweep before Steve and Fury arrived. Naruto just set the feeds on a loop in the apartment before they arrived, effectively showing the room as empty. Most of the time, Peggy appreciated Naruto's joking nature, but now was definitely not the time. She couldn't believe that she had agreed to let Naruto be the one to soften the blow, since anyone else was better than the guy whose default setting was to prank everyone. That was why she had to step in when Naruto went too far. Steve was looking at her with both disbelief and love. Peggy didn't even know how she identified those two emotions, but she would take it regardless. She walked down the stairs and sauntered towards Steve until they were only a few feet away from each other. It took a few more moments before Steve was finally able to do anything. He reached towards Peggy's face and ran his thumb across her cheeks, making sure that it wasn't a dream. Peggy unconsciously leaned into Steve's touch. How? Steve croaked out. How what? Peggy interjected. How is this possible? Don't get me wrong, I'm ecstatic that you're alive, but why are you still young? Steve amended his question. Are you saying that I'm old? Peggy said with a raised eyebrow. We're both old. Steve countered, which caused Peggy to chuckle. Peggy looked behind Steve and gestured towards Naruto. Steve followed her line of sight, and his sight went towards Naruto. Naruto visited me in my hospital suite one day and gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. Peggy started. He told me that he knew that you were still alive, but since I was basically dying, he offered me a deal. I was going to be his final test dummy for an experimental procedure that he created. It would basically make me younger and make me into pseudo-super soldier. He knew I was still alive. How? Steve inquired with disbelief. He's weird. You'll know more in the future. Peggy answered with a smile. Hey, I'm not weird. I'm unique. Naruto interjected, but it just fell on deaf ears. Peggy walked into Steve's arms and hugged him, which he reciprocated. You know, you still owe me a dance, Peggy stated. This brought a smile to Steve's face. I know, Steve replied. We should probably reschedule for after Fury releases me from my house arrest. Hearing Fury's name reminded to Peggy of something she should warn Steve about. Speaking of Fury, you can't tell anyone that I'm still alive, or that you have already met Naruto. Peggy instructed. Why? I'm not going to tell you right now. You should use your downtime to adjust and enjoy your time. Peggy replied. We're going to tell you in the future, so you shouldn't worry about it for now. Steve just nodded. He was going to push all the problems onto his future self and just enjoy the moment right now. Peggy? Naruto called out. Just call me if you need to go. I need to take care of something. He said as his own way to give some privacy to the reacquainted couple. Peggy flashed him a smile before resting her head back into Steve's chest. Naruto pulled out a speaker from his storage seal and set it up. He started It's Been a Long, Long Time by Harriet James and Helen Forrest before Here I Shined Away. The last thing he saw was Steve and Peggy slow dancing to the music. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want the next part of this video, like, subscribe and comment down below, and turn on the bell notification. And also check out other videos that I have created and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.